بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Dear beloved viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I welcome you in this another episode to discuss and to learn about Zakat in Islam. Zakat is a major pillar of Islam. Zakat is the first known institution in the world that catered for the needy and the poor in a permanent way. Zakat is a backbone of Islamic public finance. Zakat is a cornerstone of Islamic financial system. And in wealth management, Zakat is the wealth purifier. In our previous episode, I discussed about zakatable wealth. And we mentioned 8 categories of zakatable wealth. The first one was medium of exchange. Any item that gets that recognition as a medium of exchange, then it becomes zakatable. And here it entails cash, it entails gold and silver, it includes cryptocurrencies, and also financial papers. Category number 2 that we mentioned is tradable goods, urud al-tijara. They are also zakatable. Livestock, camels, cow and buffaloes, sheep and goats. We also mentioned natural resources that are natural resource fields that are owned by individuals, like mining. You have a mining license somewhere of 99 years or less or more. Or you have forests that you plant, plantations to generate woods or to generate other benefits out of it. Agricultural produce, food crops, cash crops, fruits, vegetables. And we also mentioned real estate for renting, for trade. We also mentioned fixed assets that are used for renting purposes, the like of tractors, the likes of automobiles, the likes of machinery that you use for renting and generate income out of it. We also mentioned category number 8, buried treasures. And we also talked about some form of wealth that are not zakatable, and we mentioned items that are for personal use. But I want to extend this list of zakatable items to add the 9th and the 10th, though they are debatable, but it's worthy for us to consider or mention them since they are contemporary, and it is the contemporary Muslim scholars' ijtihad that have included them, and we should not blindfold or turn an eye out of them. And these are professional income. What does this mean? It means these are businesses that provide consultancy services, provide professional services in exchange for money. Well, an example here would be lawyers. Lawyers earn professional income out of their legal advisory services. Also, construction consulting firms. You have consultant engineers of different categories. Some are electric consulting engineers and other categories, they have professional fees, professional income out of their professions. We have so many other categories of professional that provide consultancy and advisory services that modern scholars ijtihad have included them into categories of wealth that are zakatable. And we shall talk about them in later episodes, about what are the conditionalities, what are the views of these scholars with regards to this category of wealth. And lastly, it is salaries. Modern day, people establish their own enterprises to earn livelihood, and we have others who are employed. They're employees. Are employees' income zakatable or not zakatable? There's a lot of debate around this, but we shall delve into it in its nitty-gritty so that we get to understand the position of contemporary scholars with regards to salaries, as whether it is zakatable or not zakatable. So that is the 10th categories that our classical and modern scholars have established for us as zakatable wealth, if and only if other conditions or their specified conditions are fulfilled. What are those conditions? Let us start by looking at the first category of zakatable wealth, which is medium of exchange. Cash. They say cash is king. And there is a saying in Arabic, بالفلوس بنت السلطان عروسك. And with cash, you can get anything, even a daughter of the king. So cash is king. So we have different kind of cash these days. We have cash at bank, we have cash at hand, we have crypto currencies. We have as well gold or silver. We also have near cash assets, the likes of shares. Shares are near cash, especially if it is a share in a company that is listed in a stock exchange. That's near cash. You invest, you bought some shares, you have share certificates. At any point in time, you contact your broker and you can sell it. And you get cash immediately. Bonds or sukuk, also near cash. So all these are falling under this category that I'm going to talk about. So what are the conditions for this kind of wealth? Number one. Condition number one for zakatability of this category of wealth, which is cash and near cash, nisab. That cash must have reached a minimum threshold for it to be zakatable. That is to say, it is not any amount of cash or near cash that is zakatable. There is a specific amount that when it is reached and beyond, that's when it becomes zakatable. And we shall talk about this nisab issue shortly. So number two, another condition for cash or near cash assets to be zakatable, it is completion of a full year, hawl. So if you go by Islamic calendar or if you go with the Gregorian calendar, 12 months must pass إن عدة الشهور عند الله 12 شهرا في كتاب الله. So 12 months should be, that's what makes a year. Number 3, condition number 3 is that you should own it. You should own it. You have complete ownership. It is in your control. It is in your possession. You can decide what to do with it, to bank it or not to bank it, to invest it or not to invest it, to give it to somebody or to keep it for yourself. You have full control, ownership of it. And number 4, free from debt. In that cash, there is no haqq of others. There is no amount that doesn't belong to you. There's a debt. You should be free from debt. Okay? So these are 4 major conditions that needs to be fulfilled for cash and near cash assets to be zakatable. What is the nisab? We said that one of the conditions is that that cash or near cash should have minimum threshold. What's the minimum threshold? A minimum threshold is, by the time of the Prophet ﷺ, for gold, 20 dinar, 20 mithqal. Don't worry. How much is that today? Well, there are different computations around this. If you look at different literature on what is 20 mithqal today, you will find different scholars' assessment. But majority of scholars rest on 85 grams of gold. At 20 dirham or 20 mithqal in today's time is 85 grams of gold. But as I said, there are others who say 87 and others. But majority of scholars have rested on 85 grams of gold. And this is what we are going to base our nisab on for the case of gold. And also silver. Nisab can be either of gold or silver. If we look at the nisab based on the value of silver, we get from the prophetic time 200 dirham. How much is that in our modern day? Again, there are different equivalents in modern times, but majority of scholars rest into 595 grams of silver. And these are pure silver, and for the gold, pure gold. Again, there are others who say it is 612, etc., etc., because there's ijtihad around coming up to the proper equivalent of what was used by the time of the Prophet to what is used now. So we rest with respect to nisab, that nisab for cash and near cash, for gold, for digital currencies, will either be the value of 85 grams of gold or 595, or the value of 595 grams of silver. Dear beloved viewers, we take a short break and continue from here. Please don't go away.